Hello and welcome to RCSP Florida. Today I'm doing another gear review. Many of my subscribers have asked me to compare the Canon 400mm f5.6 USM L series prime lens to the new 100 to 400mm f4.5 to 5.6 version 2 USM L series zoom lens. First off, let me tell you why I switched from the 400mm prime to the 100 to 400mm zoom. I do a lot of bird photography and I am usually in an area where it is oftentimes impossible to get further away from my subject. A lot of times the birds will fly in and land so close that all I can get is a tight shot of their head. With prime lenses, your legs are your zoom. Because of trees, brush, and other obstacles, it is not always possible to back up far enough to get the entire bird in the shot, so I would oftentimes end up missing a very good shot. I needed a zoom lens to be able to get these shots. The previous version of the 100 to 400mm lens was not near as sharp as the version 2, so it was not an option for me to switch. When the new version 2 came out, I waited to hear reviews about how the lens performed before I considered buying it. The reviews were all favorable, so I took a chance and invested the money to buy the lens. I was not disappointed. Even then, I was still afraid the newer 100 to 400mm zoom was not going to be as sharp as the 400mm prime. I shot for several years using the 400mm prime and got excellent results. After using the 100 to 400mm for a few days in all scenarios, I was pleasantly surprised at the resolution of this lens. I think in complicated testing, the prime lens may have come out on top, but it was not visible to the naked eye. I cannot tell which lens the picture was taken with, and that is all that matters to me. For all intents and purposes, the lens quality is about the same. I'm going to show you a series of photos taken with both lenses. Try and pick out the 400mm prime from the 100 to 400mm zoom. The pictures are numbered, so write down which lens was used for each picture. When we come back, I'll give you the answers. So what do you think? Well, I'll make it easy for you. All of the odd numbers were taken with the 400mm prime, and all of the even numbers were taken with the 100 to 400mm zoom. If you could tell the difference, you have better eyes than I do. I had to look at the metadata to make sure which lens was used. I try to keep the expenses down as low as possible and still make recommendations to my viewers that will give them the best quality for their money. In this case, if you can live with a 400mm prime, it is a fantastic lens for the money. It's as good as, if not better than, the 100 to 400mm and half the price. You can usually find a nice, clean 400mm prime lens for around $700 to $800 or buy it new for around $1,200. I bought mine locally from a local camera store and it has worked flawlessly. I still have it as a backup for my 100 to 400. Another thing to consider is the weight. The 100 to 400mm lens is a lot heavier than the 400mm prime, and it's also a lot larger. And finally, the 400mm prime does not have image stabilization, which can be a bummer. It's not a problem most of the time because I can shoot at 1/1000th or higher, which is generally enough to freeze the action. However, not in low light. So you have to shoot on a tripod most of the time to get sharp images. Even with stabilization, I still shoot on a tripod except when I'm shooting birds in flight, and then I prefer to hand hold it if I can. That is a plus for the 400mm Prime because it is smaller and lighter. It is a great lens for flying birds as long as you can keep the shutter speed up. It boils down to what you want to do. I only make recommendations and try to give you the facts, but ultimately it has to be your decision. With photography, there is no such thing as one size fits all. It depends on what you shoot, how much weight you want to carry, do you need stabilization, and how big a lens do you want to carry. I have carried both, and I prefer the 100 to 400 millimeters, even though it is larger and heavier, because if I have to slow the shutter speed down due to conditions, I need the stabilization to prevent having motion blur with my pictures. Even then, I don't always get it. I oftentimes need to zoom out to capture the picture I want, and that is not an option with a prime lens. You have to physically back up, which is not always possible. Sometimes the most critical factor with many photographers, including this one, is the price. We all have a budget we need to stay within. Either of these lenses will work great for bird photography, and getting a good image is all that counts, regardless of which of these two lenses you may use. In the end, I think either of these lenses will work fine for you. Let me know what you think. You can reach me through YouTube or send an email to dscott@rcscottphotography.com. I would love to hear your thoughts about these two lenses. My website is www.rcscottphotography.com. Check it out to see some of my pictures or to check out the RCSP flash bracket I custom build and sell on my website for most larger gimbal heads with Swiss Arca side plates. If you decide to buy one of these lenses, please use one of the links below to help support this channel. I get a small commission which helps pay for making these videos, and it costs you no additional money. Most of the income derived from this channel goes to buying camera equipment to use and review. I am not paid by any manufacturer to make these videos, and all of my gear was purchased with my own money. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more of my videos, please hit the subscribe button, which helps me with YouTube. I want to thank all of my subscribers for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I am only around 60 subscribers away from the 1,000 I need to be able to monetize this channel, and it's all because of you. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Can't talk, my throat's all screwed up. I just sound like crap.